Hey guys, you're watching the one and only. My name is AJ. Welcome back to the episode of Let's Build a Replica Engine. This is what we've got so far. We've got the main block and we've put the crankshaft in. We've got to put the main bearings on to connect this to the block. Now in my summer car there's three. There's one at this end, there's one at that end, and then there's one in the middle. We could do the one in the middle, but it means moving this over by one and having another one there and joining it to the middle. You know, let's do that. It's not really that much of a problem to do. So if we grab, let's turn the shaders off here. It does make this look a little bit weird, but that's how it actually is. So we grab that one and we grab this one, boop, boop, and we go cut, and we move it over just by, we only need to move it over by a few blocks, so we'll move it over to here. Whoops, oops, I've moved. Are we right? We've connected up correctly, good. And then if we also then paste another one, so we've got two blocks in the middle here. So if I paste another one, let's say I think I've got it right here. If not, we're going to be slightly off. We are a lot off. Undo. Let's go forward a bit. Paste. Let's go down by one. Paste. Back by one. Paste. Good, perfect. So then we can now make this go through the middle, which is at this height right here, somewhere like this, and that one, that one, that one, and that one. So now we have a section that we can connect a main bearing to. Is that in the middle? I think I'm one block too low. I'm sure I'm one block too low. That one, that one, that one, that one, that one. Yeah, much better. So, what we do now is we make these blue sections join up to the middle. Where am I? I want to go about here. Perfect. And out here. We'll make it a little bit thicker. Don't worry. It looks a little bit too flimsy at the moment. And the same here. So, we want it on this level. Out to this side. Oh, it's perfect how it joins up like that, isn't it? Okay, and then the main bearing sort of wraps around there. So let's make this look a little bit chunkier. We'll add another one to either side. And there. The same down here. And then we'll make it so it goes a little bit thicker going up towards the back of the block here. Maybe even nearly solid. We could have it go... What are we thinking? We only need to go up... Well, no, we should only need to go up about 4 blocks. Let's do a 4 block thickness. And then we can make all of that... This one, 3511. Set 3511. So now it looks like structurally nice and thick. That one, and that one. 1, 2, 3. Click. Click. Okay, so the main bearings now need to hold this in. We're going to do the bearings in brown. They're a little bit rusty now. And these sit nicely around here. Like that. So that's a basic sort of join. But let's now make it go a couple of blocks longer. So there's one bearing. So it holds that up. And then we have another one over here. Let's keep this 2 blocks thick. Is that a creep? Difficulty peaceful. I done that at literally as I logged onto the world. So we'll have that there and down here. Okay, and then we'll do another one. So we'll have this here. How many blocks does it come out? 3 after that. 1, 2, 3. And then wrap this underneath it. 1, 2, 3. And the same on the other side. Over here. Do we need to? Yes. No, we don't. It's already in there. We don't need... Well, there is one on this side, so we'll do it. But it's only going to be 1 block thick here. So we'll have it 1, 2, 3 like that. No, 1 more. And then we'll make it go down like this. Ugh, get up. Is that right? That's right. Perfect. Okay, piston time. So we've got 4 pistons to build. I think the best way to do this is to build one down on the ground and then move it up. It's going to require a little bit of planning and maybe a few mistakes. We're going to do the pistons, the tops of the pistons in this light grey. And then I don't think I want to do them in iron blocks. I think that'll look a little bit too... Well, I just don't like how iron blocks, how the lines sit between them. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to use light grey wool for the head of the piston. And then for the body of the piston, we'll use a dark grey. Just so there's a little bit of differentiating between them. So, let's sit this off the ground a little bit. Like this. Because we need to have the bottom, which we don't know how long is going to be yet. And then this is going to be where our circle begins. So, our circle is 5 blocks... along, and then we have 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 again. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. Okay, and then fill up this middle. So what we'll do now is we'll select this whole circle, and we'll find out how many times we need to copy and paste it on top of each other to make it look like the cylinder head. Well, not cylinder, the piston head, sorry, not cylinder head. Okay, so we'll grab a corner. Boop. And we'll grab another corner. If I don't fall. There. And I stand in the middle. I'm in the middle. Copy. So, 121 blocks. We need to work out... It doesn't need to be hugely big, but the pistons that are, or the parts of the crankshaft that are up, means the piston's going to be up, which means that is going to sit right at the top, nice and flush. So if we count down 1, which we've got, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks. That's not too far. Let's go 7 blocks. And then... one more, 8. So 8 blocks is going to be where how thick the head is. Now I'm going to go to 7. 7 blocks. And then we have like a stalk that comes down that then wraps around this section. So 7 blocks tall. So we've got 1 here. I shouldn't have deleted those blue ones. That was silly of me. Because I'm going to need to put those back anyway. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's actually looking pretty good to scale. Let's fly back up here, because I removed them and I shouldn't have. We'll do them in brown so they stand out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's in the middle point now. Now that's the middle point. And then we've got this needs to join up and wrap around here. So below we need to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blocks will then connect us to it. So we'll go underneath it and count down by 8 with this one. 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then if we leave ourselves the correct what do you call it, like plus sign around it, that should sit around that. That's the plan. Is that right? Or is it 2 blocks on either side? No, it's only 1. So that should sit around there. That's too thin though. We're going to want to make this look a little bit more chunky. So let's make this come down here. Down there. Down there. So we've made that part thicker. We'll then make this part thicker. So we'll add 1 on this side. And 1 on this side. Definitely looks a lot more reasonable now. Let's grab that, that, and that, 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 and that. Don't want it to come out in all 4 directions, so we have it like that as well. Why not? That looks pretty cool. So there is our piston. Let's add some walls. Oh no. I want just some sort of thin block. Iron. Nah, we'll keep it like this. I thought maybe iron bars or something down the side could work, but that should be fine. So we'll now grab this corner again. Corner there. And go down this side. And go all the way down to the bottom. And make that our second point. And then where do we want to stand? Do I want to stand... I think if we stand underneath the middle. So if I stand right here with my head pushed up against this block. And we copy it. 2,299 blocks. And then hopefully all I need to do is stand underneath the middle. So it's going to be right here for this. I know it's not the middle of this part, but remember we shifted that left by 1 and that right by 1, which made these parts smaller. That's how it is in the engine. So we stand right here and we paste. Oh, no. Undo. We stand right here and we paste -A, which doesn't paste the air blocks. And we undo. We rotate it by 90 blocks because I built it for some reason in the opposite direction. And then we paste without air. Okay, good. It's wrapped around here, which is what we want. And if we go to the top, hopefully this is flush with the top of the engine. It is. Excellent. So we have 2 of them like that. So we have this one over here. Make sure we're in the middle of the engine, the middle of the cylinder, which I think is that one. Put our head against it. Paste. Looks good. And then down here, make sure we're in the middle, right there. These are going to be lower down because they're on the other cycle. We have one there. I think that's just a lighting glitch. Yeah, there we go. It's sorted itself out. And this one right, I think there. It's really hard to see when you're at this perspective, isn't it? Okay, and at the bottom of the piston ends up being flush with the bottom. That's a complete coincidence, but ends up being absolutely perfect. So there's a little bit of a lighting glitch there. That will sort itself out. So if we go to the top now, we can see which pistons are on the suck and which pistons are on the blow. Sweet as. That is really, really cool. Now, on my summer car, these 2 halves, or like the top half of this and the bottom half of this, are 2 separate pieces that you screw and bolt in. So to do that, we're just going to put a couple of brown bolts just to say that, you know, these are bolted together. That doesn't need to be there. Have I got any more of those random blue blocks? I shouldn't do. I shouldn't have anywhere. So we've got one there. One there. One here. And one there. Marvellous. How sick is that? So that looks so cool, doesn't it? Hey? Now what we do is, according to the tutorial of My Summer Car, is we would put the head gasket on, which is a thin sheet of metal that separates the block from the cylinder head. It just makes a seal. So to do that, we can grab any grey block. It'd be nice if we had slightly... Yeah, clay is perfect. So it's usually a nice thin sheet that literally sits directly on top of this blue one here. So I don't know what the easiest way to do this would be, to be honest. Probably a little bit of fandangling. If we do that, and just trying to find the quickest way to do it. There, and we copy, and we paste and we remove the top of this piston, which is the copied one, so we're not affecting the length of the piston. And we do the same with the other one. There's a lot of block. You don't realise how big these pistons are and this engine is until you start trying to carve away individual pieces. All of that. Try not to break the wrong one. Marvellous. After this series, we're all going to be able to build our own engine from scratch, aren't we? And now if we select this layer, we can then change it to the correct block. And that's going to be a lot quicker than placing each one as we go in and filling it all in and all that business. This is a lot quicker. There. And then we want to replace 35 with 82. Replace 35, which is all wool, with 82. And that gives us our head gasket. Marvellous. So the head gasket on. Now what goes on top of that is the cylinder head. We can start the cylinder head today, or at least get a shape in, but it's quite a complex part, so it's going to take at least a whole episode to do. But I've got enough time to at least start it today. I just need to have a look at a picture of one, just so we know exactly what's going where. Okay, I'll be back. Alright, so I've got an image. This one might require a little bit of tweaking later on. We're going to do this in light grey wool. There's a subtle difference there. You know, we might change this up to a darker block. If we do, we can do it now, can't we? Replace 82 with 3511. Nope. 35.7. Undo with 35.7. We'll make the head gasket a darker block, and then the cylinder head will really stand out. So the cylinder head is quite tall. On one side, we have where the spark plugs are inserted, and on the other side is where we have the exhaust. Is it the exhaust manifold that sort of comes off the engine before it goes to the exhaust pipe? So it needs to be quite tall. It needs to be flush with the head gasket here. And, well, what's going to be the easiest way to do this? If we had, I don't know what side I'm on. That is where the ignition coil goes onto. So that side, this side has the spark plugs. Right. So if we have the spark plugs, they'd have to be in line with the pistons, obviously, because it puts the spark into the top of this area. So when the fuel gets pressurized by the piston pushing, it creates an explosion with the spark and sets the light to the fuel, creating combustion. So if we have, how big do we want the spark plugs to be? We want the holes to be quite big. Yeah, okay, let's do, for the start, let's do a 3x3 square. And that'll give us a good idea on where we want to go from there. So if we do that, so we have 2 blocks below and 2 blocks above. We're not too far off. That isn't too far off what we want, really. Let's add another block below, carve that one out, and then add 2 more on top. So we now have 3 underneath the square and 3 on top of the square. I think that's about right, and then we'll have a little overlap up here. So on this side, this should be a circle as well, but we'll change that. Well, we can change it up now, can we? Because we're going to carve a little bit away here, because this ends up aiming backwards, or leading backwards. Like that. We can fill these in here. And on this side, fill in the top. And then we have the spark plug hole, just like that. That's where the spark plug goes into. We could make it like that sort of shape. And it goes in diagonally, but spark plugs aren't in there yet. We'll do the spark plugs later on. So we have one there, one there, one there, and one there. Let's grab ourselves that. And grab ourselves that. And we'll stand on here in line with the middle of the piston. Copy. Middle of the piston. Paste. 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 So there's where our 4 spark plugs go. And on this side, there's only the bolt holes. So if we just make this block set 35.8, set 35.8, same as there, same as here, same as there. We've got one more on the other side, same as there. Put this extra one on the top. So we've got the height now of the cylinder head, which is a really good start. So now we can basically build the structure of it, and then put all the holes and stuff like that afterwards that we need. Okay, so there we go. There's the sort of main look of it. I want to make these from squares into circles now, or approximate circles. So something like that would probably be about right, or we could add it like that and make it an act. Yeah, that's good. That one, 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 that one. That one, 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 that one. And that one, 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 that one. Cool as. Really, really cool. Should we drop them down by 1 block? Should we drop them down by a block? We could do. If we came something like that. Just because it looks a little bit too thin on the top and too thick on the bottom. Something like that that should be good. There. Cut. Paste. Undo. Undo. I should have selected... Where did I go from? Yeah, so I should go from there to there. Cut. Paste. Why did it only take... Hold on, I'll do this, I'll be back. Alright, there we go, I just didn't select back enough. So, we've got the little gap here, obviously, where we moved it down by 1 block. So we fill this in, and now we should end up with 2 on underneath and 2 on top-ish, or maybe 3 on the bottom and 2 on top. But either way, it'll be a lot closer. Yeah, so we've got 2 on the bottom, 2 blocks on the bottom, and 2 blocks on the top. Really happy with that. And then we have the bolt holes that screw down into the cylinder head, which we'll do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We'll do it like that. And then fill up these sides here. Like, oops. Like that. So we have these in between. Can I do them a bit of a cooler shape, or is that... Would it be cool to have just a little bit of finesse on them, something like that? Yeah, it looks a lot better. Let's do that as well. So they sort of look like they're leaning back. Let's grab that then. So we want that one will be easier. And that one, we can take the cylinder head as well, it doesn't matter. The head gasket as well, it doesn't matter. We'll stand on the left side. Copy. Stand in the middle, 3 blocks. So it's here. Paste. Perfect. And paste. Perfect. So there's one side of our cylinder head. On the other side will be a load of holes where the exhausts and stuff go, but we'll do that next episode. Be also nice to add maybe a little bit of embossment or something like that, because It looks very flat on there. I know it is a flat piece, really, on the side. But if we can add some protruding areas, that would be even better. If you guys enjoyed it, hit that like button. If you haven't already, then feel free to subscribe. We shall see you in the next episode.